Hey everyone, what is up, Wavejump here, and welcome back to another video. The Somnium Files probably has my favorite story of any game I've ever played. This game is criminally underrated. So in this video I'll talk about why it's my favorite game story of all time in a very spoiler-free way, and tell you whether you should play it or not. Before I go much further, let me explain why this video is not family friendly, and the one reason you may not want to play this game. There are a ton of sexual jokes, and I mean a ton. The game's writing is practically based off of it. I'll come back to this later. The Somnium Files is an M-rated adventure, murder, mystery, puzzle, and horror, in the dark way, not the scary way, hybrid visual novel available on the PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. You go through the game as Kaname Date, a detective solving the murder of Shoko Nadami, with the help of Aiba, your AI eyeball. Aiba. Most of the gameplay revolves around interacting with the people and objects in your environment. You can click on pretty much everything and experience unique dialogue for most of it, which may further the story, develop the characters, or just provide entertainment and world building. Most of the game occurs spread out through a bunch of different recurring locations. To advance the plot and prevent the rest of the gameplay from getting boring, the game punctuates the visual novel segments with 3D puzzles, which the game calls Somniums. In Somnium, you get to explore someone else's mind in a sort of dream world, uncovering bits of plot and character development along the way. But that's the boring side of this video. The gameplay isn't completely innovative or anything, so what sets this game apart? Well, its writing by Zero Escape series director and writer Kotaro Uchikoshi is really entertaining. I mean that in two ways. First, the game itself is entertaining, and outright hilarious at times. It's obviously not going to be quite as funny as it is in context, but here are a couple of examples.
Did you witness my superior driving technique? What is this anyway?
You can tell by tasting it.
Fine. I'll have a sip.
Aiba? Hey, Aiba!
Thank you for the delicious soup.
What kind of soup was it?
Elephant.
What did you say?
Elephant.
Greg Chun, Erica Harlicker, Allegra Clark, and all the other talented voice actors and actresses bring this game's dialogue to life and deliver jokes really well. Seriously, I feel like I'm snubbing all of the other actors by not listing them, but there's not one English performance that I believe doesn't fit, or just work amazingly for the character. By the way, this game is fully voice acted and has an auto feature, so you can just leave the game to play through the vast majority of dialogue without reading, if you want to. And second, the game's actual narrative, the murder mystery side of it, builds upon the foundation of its witty dialogue to deliver a fantastic story. I can't really give plot details because that would spoil the game for you, but I can tell you why it's so good. For one, the game rewards the player for paying attention. Uchikoshi's writing has really good attention to detail, so that you as a player will feel vindicated when one of your wild theories turns out to be correct, or is at least acknowledged by the game. If you don't have the bandwidth to pay super close attention to the story, that's fine too. The game has little summarize for me sections where it'll go over all of the facts in case you've forgotten something or took a break from the game. Actually, on the note of how players feel, the game does an excellent job of generating suspicion around characters and plot points. If you played through this game, saw Sosujima, this guy, and thought, wow, he seems like a great outstanding human being who isn't suspicious at all, you and I may not have played the same game. But even dislikable characters like the aforementioned Sosujima have genuine depth, and everything in the story has a reason. Sometimes those reasons are to serve as red herrings, to throw you off the trail, but even those plot points have other logical reasons that fit into the plot. In other words, the red herrings don't serve just to stop you from figuring out the mystery. They have canonical reasons for being there and tie into other interweaving plot lines. The game also does something really clever with its story. It's not a spoiler to say this because it's literally a menu item accessible from the start of the game and demo, but the game has a flowchart showing branching paths of the story. Remember Somniums? I mentioned them briefly earlier, they're sort of 3D puzzles. During the vast majority of the Somniums in this game, the decisions you make to solve the puzzles will alter the story, creating alternate story branches. You also don't have to worry about missing content because the game basically forces you to play through the timelines in somewhat of a fixed order, and therefore replay certain Somniums with different solutions. You have some choice on when to finish a few of them, but the narrative intentionally unfolds in such an order that you're continually learning new things and thinking up new theories based off of what you see. Sometimes a branch will lock, leaving you on a cliffhanger and preventing you from progressing further because you don't have the relevant information to continue. That may sound cruel, but it's a really effective device to keep you invested. Okay, I've talked about why this game is one of my favorite games for a while now, so let me quickly come back to why you might not want to play this game. Number 1, you can't stand any gore. This game has blood, it has gore, it's somewhat cartoonish, but it's there. Number 2, you find sexual humor repulsively immature. I'm not a massive fan of it, but I personally found it entertaining and felt like it added needed levity to the story. And number 3, this just doesn't sound like a game you'd like. If so, that's okay. If you play this game, you should enjoy it. Why should you play this game though? It's funny, engaging, will make you smile with its humor, well written, well acted, and just a good game overall. I beat this game in late 2019 and I still can't stop thinking about it and recommending it to people. It's literally an inside joke among my IRL friends that I keep telling people to play the Somnium Files. And it's worked. I've gotten at least 5 of my friends to play the game, and the 2 who have already beaten it share the same love and passion for the game that I do. One of them, at pan_gia_arts on Instagram, who also helps with editing some of my scripts, has introduced their friends to it and made art for it, which includes spoilers for the ending, but it's tagged so you can still safely look at the rest of their art. And the other friend I have who's beaten the game was actually telling me the other day about how he considered writing about it for a college essay. He also helped me revise the script, by the way. All things said, this video is not sponsored by Chunsoft, although I would love it if they did sponsor a future video, but I wholeheartedly recommend this game. The game's writing does take a little bit to get to its usual pace. The game starts slow, so the Nintendo eShop demo won't give you the full experience, but if you have a Switch or PS4 and want to try the game, I'd highly recommend either buying the game or just starting with the demo. If you have a PC and some money to spend, I'd also of course recommend trying the game, in case my previous statements somehow didn't imply that. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it and want to see more content like this, please share the video to help me out by getting more engagement and viewers, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Bye.